Law enforcement fights crime in our neighborhoods. The eyes and ears of the community can prove vital in these efforts. Stay vigilant. Your tip could crack the next case. This is a KLFY Plus exclusive. Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Welcome to this week's edition of Acadiana Crimestoppers, the show which partners law enforcement and community to help solve and prevent crime on our streets. In this episode, we will cover the crime of the week parish by parish. We'll also talk Lafayette Parish's most wanted with Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas, who will also tell us about his office's special efforts during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We begin in Acadia Parish, where authorities are searching for a fugitive wanted on multiple drug and gun charges. Here's Sheriff K.P. Gibson with the crime of the week.
Crimestoppers Acadia Parish needs your help to locate a wanted fugitive. The Acadia Parish Sheriff's Office is seeking the public's assistance with locating Carl Anthony Moore Brown. Brown is a black male, 29 years of age. He is 5'3" in height, weighing approximately 140 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. His last known address is 2142 West Northern Avenue in Crowley. Brown is wanted for numerous narcotics and firearms charges. If you have information on the whereabouts of Carl Brown, you're urged to call the TIPS line at 789-TIPS or download our P3 app on your mobile device to report your tip. All calls will remain anonymous and can receive up to a $1,000 cash reward for information leading to his arrest. Be the difference. For Crimestoppers of Acadia Parish, I'm Sheriff K.P. Gibson.
If you have any information on this crime, call Crimestoppers at 789-TIPS. You could earn up to a $1,000 cash reward.
Lafayette Crimestoppers and Lafayette Police need your help identifying a suspect wanted for misdemeanor theft. The theft was committed on October 8th at Champ Sports. Anyone with information related to this incident is asked to contact Lafayette Police Department or Lafayette Crimestoppers at 337-232-TIPS. You can also send to Lafayette Crimestoppers by downloading the P3 TIPS mobile app. Lafayette Crimestoppers and the Lafayette Police Department need your help identifying the person in the video accused in connection with 2 vehicle burglaries. The burglaries occurred October 17th. If you have any information, call Lafayette Crimestoppers at 232-TIPS, and you can also download that P3 TIPS mobile app. All callers do remain anonymous. Authorities in Lafayette are looking for some fugitives wanted for OWI, domestic violence, among other offenses. That's why we've invited Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas once again for our weekly Lafayette Most Wanted. So again, we appreciate you being here this week.
And thank you so much for having me. One of the things I do want to say is that Acadiana have been doing such a great job of contacting our office, and that's why we're here. If we all work together, then we can get these people off the street. OWIs are very, very important. You know, I always talk about everybody knows someone who has been involved in a serious accident or someone who was killed. So what we want to do is get these people off the street. And with Acadiana calling us, we're getting the help that we need, and we're taking people off the street.
Well, we all drive. All of our family members drive. So it's just so important, and it really touches everyone to have the streets safe. Not have people driving drunk or intoxicated.
Yes.
All right, so our first person of the week here, Chantel Huntsberry, OWI first offense. She committed that offense in Lafayette, and she failed to appear for arraignment. So that's a theme that we always see with these people. They don't show up to court.
You know, people get arrested, and they get arrested for OWI, and you have consequences, and those consequences start with coming to court. If you don't respect the court and come to court, then what's going to happen is the marshals is going to be looking for you. Your picture will come up here. So what we're saying is, not only do we want Acadiana to call the marshal's office, we want you to turn yourself in. And if you turn yourself in, that shows a lot. That shows the responsibility. And we want you to take responsibility for being arrested. So when you don't show up for court, I will be sitting here with your picture, and someone will recognize you and someone will contact us.
Yeah, we want you to turn yourself in before you appear and become a guest on our show.
Yes.
So our second person, David Earl Fontenot, OWI first offense, committed in Lafayette, but he also has an extensive criminal history. So that's also important to note. Yes, he got an OWI, but he has an extensive criminal history, and that's why you guys are making him a priority.
And as you know, we see this a lot. This is not something like, you know, a OWI OWI and they've never been arrested before, when you see somebody with an extensive criminal record, at times that means that they will come back and do the same thing again or something worse. So what we do is we go out and we look for these people. A lot of people think that OWI first offense is not dangerous. Officers knocking on the doors, you know, marshals are looking for people. That's not dangerous. But you have to look at their background too. So when you look at somebody with an extensive criminal record and we have to go knock on the door, we need to get them off the street. So what we're saying is, if you know who this is, contact us. Remember, we're not asking your name, we're not asking anything. Only thing we're asking is you contact us, we'll send marshals out to make the arrest and to get this guy off the street.
Yeah, and your office is vital to make sure justice is served.
Yes, we are.
Even if it's an OWI, even if he doesn't have an extensive criminal history, he has an OWI and he has to face the consequences for that. Justice has to be served.
And that's what we're doing, and that's why Acadiana is so important to us. That's why the community is so important to us. You know, week after week we come here and you'll see somebody captured. I might put one picture up, two pictures up, or whatever, but you'll see somebody captured. That's because we were called. That's because the person might have saw their cell phone there and say, hold up, this is going too far. Let me contact the marshal's office. And we'll bring that person in and we'll work with that person, or we'll do whatever we have to do. But we want to bring this person to justice. And when you see an extensive criminal history, we want to get that person off the street.
Exactly. Our next person, Antonio Lewis, domestic abuse battery, first offense, committed offense in Lafayette, also resisting an officer, and he also has an extensive criminal history.
And I tell you all the time about domestic abuse battery. That is something that I will not tolerate. And when you see first offense, that's your neighbor. That's somebody living next to you. And I always say that when we put somebody up with domestic violence, somebody contact us immediately, or the person see it. That's somebody in our community. So that's not nobody running from state to state. So we expect a call. When we make arrests, always after this show is always in reference to domestic violence. So I will tell you that I'm sure that somebody will call. I'm sure he will see this. And if he does, turn yourself in.
Yep, maybe he'll be on the captured list next week.
That's it.
So our final person of this week, Lewis Barber, domestic abuse battery, first offense. He committed this offense in Lafayette. Previous warrants for charge. What exactly does that mean?
What that means is this is not his first time he been charged with it, but this is first offense, meaning that he has not been to court for any other charges at this time. So what happens is we have several warrants. Meaning that he was arrested and he just did not show up for court multiple times. So what happens is now we have several warrants. So this is somebody that's really high on our priorities, somebody that we really want to get off the street. So if you know who this guy is, again, it's a domestic violence case. So that means it could be your next door neighbor. That means it's definitely somebody who lived with somebody and might still be living in a house. So let us know. Contact us, call us. We don't want anybody else hurt or abused through a domestic violence situation. We want to be contacted. We want to pick this guy up. And that's what we will do, because we will get a call. And I'm that confident that we will get a call in reference to where his location's at and who he and where he's at this particular time. And that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, this is also what we're looking for. Our next person captured Amari Christine Barrow. You guys got her?
Again, that was somebody that was showing on this show. That was somebody that somebody calls and say, hey, I know where this person is at. Or you know, you might want to turn yourself in. A lot of times people see this and their relatives and people start calling them and say, hey, look, it's serious right now. And this is what happens. A person is captured. We get a person, we get this person, we get that person, and this is what this is about. And this is why this show works. This is why we want to continue to do this show, because it works. If it did not work, I would not be sitting here every week.
Yeah, your time is valuable. You're a busy man. You have a lot that you do. I know that for sure.
Yes, and anything to help the marshals and help out my guys, the deputies, and the things that they're doing, then I will do. So I'll come here every week simply because it works. So contact us, stay anonymous, just call, make a call, and the person might live right near you. The person might be somebody that you just saw yesterday. The person did not come to court. The person is still driving. Let's get that person off the road. Let's not have any more domestic violence abuse. and let's move forward. But before we can move forward, the deputies have to be contacted. We have to make the arrest. We have to bring that person to court.
Yeah, justice has to be served.
Yes.
And we appreciate you having you on Crime Stoppers every week, and we want to keep this running for as long as we can. Thank you so much for your time.
And thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
St. Landry Crimestoppers is teaming up with the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries to help stop littering in the parish. More on their efforts in this week's St. Landry Parish Crimestoppers report.
You're watching St. Landry Crimestoppers.
Hello, everyone. I'm Major Mark LeBlanc with the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office. And with me today is Corporal Michael Blanchard with the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. We would like to speak to you today on something of great importance to everyone in our great state.
The issue at hand is littering. Whether small objects thrown or blown out of moving vehicles, or the senseless dumping of bags of trash in our wilderness, waterways, and roadsides, is a huge problem that can be stopped very easily. It can end by you taking the next step within the community of being responsible and reporting littering when you see it and where it happens. The Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries has enacted surveillance and enforcement methods throughout our great state, but we still need your help. Anyone can contact the LDWF Anti-Litter Hotline at 855-LA-LITTER.
The St. Landry Crimestoppers Board has approved the award of cash for tips that lead to enforcement action, either through citation or arrests. You can call 948-TIPS or download our P3 app and tap the app to submit your anonymous tips. On behalf of the St. Landry Crimestoppers Board, Corporal Blanchard with the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Bobby J. Guitros. Remember, stow it, don't throw it.
If you have any information on this crime, call Crime Stoppers at 948-TIPS. You could earn up to a $2,500 cash reward.
Investigators with the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office are asking for the public's assistance in reference to a boat and trailer theft. It happened on September 30th, with deputies from the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office responding to a report of a boat and trailer theft at a residence in the 1200 block of Burton Plantation Highway in St. Martinville. A 16-foot homemade aluminum boat with a ProDrive CX37 horsepower outboard motor and a homemade aluminum trailer painted red were stolen from the residence at approximately 1:50 a.m. in the morning. Anyone with information regarding the theft of this boat and trailer, please contact St. Martin Crimestoppers at 337-441-3030 or via the P3 Tips mobile app.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
We are back on Acadiana Crimestoppers, and we have Marshal Reggie Thomas still with us, and then we have Captain Shane Duplichamp that's also with us, and we're talking about domestic violence. Every time we do our Lafayette's Most Wanted, we cover a lot of domestic violence cases. You guys are always looking for domestic violence cases, but you have put an emphasis on it this month because it's October, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Tell me a little bit about that and why this is a crime that just doesn't sit right with you.
You know, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is very important. It's very important not only to us, but it's important to the victims. And that's what I want people to think about. I want you to think about the victims, people that has been abused during domestic violence. It's very important to me because I have been working in law enforcement for quite some time. And one of the things that happen is you see people that need help. You see people that really been abused in a domestic situation. So the people that actually do this, the people that we actually look for are people that are not showing up for court, that has committed some type of abuse of somebody. So those people need to be taken off the street. One of the things that I decided to do, because it's Domestic Violence Month, I decided that we will target any warrants that we have in domestic violence. And that's what we did. We looked at all the warrants that we had and we said, you know what, let's see, could we locate any of these people and get them off the street? They're not showing up for court. They have committed a battery of someone, and probably the victim at this time is either hiding is in fear. So let's do our part. And, you know, we want the community to understand that domestic violence is a very dangerous crime. It's dangerous for the police when we go to the house because of the family trauma. And it's dangerous, of course, to the person that's being abused. So we won't tolerate it. And we are looking for several people, and we are really doing some work right now, some hard work, doing capturing people during Domestic Violence Month.
And so many times it happens behind closed doors, and everyone should feel safe in their home. And it's a shame when people don't because of that situation.
And that's what we believe, and that's why we work so hard. And I do want to say that we're not only doing Domestic Violence Month this month.
Yeah.
You know, we're not only looking for people this month, all year long we're looking for people. So, but this month, we just target this because we looked and we had several domestic violence warrants that we have. And I brought my captain today, so I want him to talk more about who we're looking for or how many people we're looking for. And, you know, he's the one that did the research. He's the one that actually are apprehending our domestic violence offenders.
Okay, so talk to me, Captain, about one, the research, two, the efforts that have gone in, and what are the fruits of those efforts?
Sure. Marshal Thomas approached us, and he wanted to emphasize focusing on domestic violence warrants for this month. And ran a report dating back from 2023. We had a total of 39 active arrest warrants for domestic violence. Wow. So I got with our warrant team and I told them, hey, look, we're focusing on this month, and I want you guys to really go after it. So as of today, they have located and apprehended several individuals, clearing up a total of over 20 arrest warrants for individuals who have active warrants for domestic violence. We have located other subjects incarcerated currently in other parishes where we've placed detainers on them as well.
Wow, so you're saying that you guys cleared up 50% of these cases just with the increased manpower and the increased emphasis. And it shows you why Domestic Violence Month and just the awareness of it is so important. It leads to real-world results.
Yes, and we are making a dent in the arrest for domestic violence. With that being said, subjects are still not appearing in court to answer the charges, so it's a never-ending process.
Yeah, and you guys do still have that other half that you guys are still searching for. So if you know someone that does have that kind of charge that hasn't shown up to court, how can they contact you guys?
Yes, we ask that the public contacts our office at 337-291-8726.
And you can't hide from this. You guys are going to find these perpetrators, and they're going to be brought to justice. And not just in October, but every month going forward.
And we're very serious about this. So if you know you have a domestic violence warrant, we ask that you contact our office. If somebody knows the person, I always say it, somebody who committed domestic violence lives in your neighborhood. If it happened in Lafayette, normally the person is in Lafayette. So if you see anybody, or if you know that a spouse or something is on a run and you know where that person is at, contact our office.
It's a very important topic. So Captain Duplasham, Marshal Thomas, thank you guys both so much for joining us here on Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
The St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office is hosting a one-day concealed carry permit training class on November 15th. The class will take place at 211 West Park Street in Eunice. It begins at 7:30 in the morning. The course is $100 and $80 for a spouse or renewal. In the course, you can get notary or online help, application, classroom, range, and a hot meal. The course is taught by the certified police training staff of the Sheriff's Office. Reserve your seat by calling the training center at 948-5841. Our partnership with law enforcement continues next week. Join us as we show you more wanted fugitives throughout Acadiana. Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas will be with us once again. We'll see what other suspects he is looking for. We appreciate you tuning in to Acadiana Crimestoppers exclusively on KLFY+. We will be back next week detailing the latest crimes to be solved and perps to be brought to justice.